labs. But it's really like you said. I mean, the producers, right, are saying it's the lab's fault. And the lab, what are the labs kind of saying?
Well, the labs have said that they have suggested, though not on the record, that some of the producers were swapping out product and giving them one product and putting something else on shelves. And in fact, a company, West Coast Cure.
And then this is where we get into the West Coast Cure stuff, guys, which is definitely interesting. And I've talked to Jake Cures a little bit in the past. I've never really talked. I don't know him that well. I got his number, but they responded pretty well to this, honestly. But we'll get to that. I just want to, like I said, bear with me, guys. Trust me, it's going to get real, real interesting. So make sure to stick around.
Which came up as having some dirty vapes, was actually just fined by the DCC for a good amount of money, for $3.2 million for here, I will read the exact charge in the article to make sure I get it right. Proving the selection, saying it failed to guard against Cure products, but did. So the Department of Cannabis Control issued no public recalls of West Coast Cure products, but did conduct a surprise inspection at its Long Beach facility. In May, the agency levied a $3.2 million fine against Wasserman's company, saying it failed to guard against product tampering, including storing goods in the parking lot and shipping containers that had no security cameras. It was also cited for failing to provide legally required video proving the selection of product samples for lab testing was not rigged. And the company did not respond to questions about that citation.
Well, there's some questions there for sure. So, guys, like I said, by the way, make sure you guys, if you guys want to catch interviews like this, you guys got to go sign up for the High Design platform, the streaming platform, www.highdesign.media. We got tons of interviews that are only available here, tons of pieces of content that are only available here. A lot of the spicy stuff only available on this platform. Oh, and also there is an iOS app for it as well. So if you look up on your phone in the App Store HDXLMC, it'll pop up so you can watch all of this on your phone on the go.
Then a guy, one of the guys who is involved in the company, Jarrett Wasserman, has responded to us on his private Instagram account, Jake Cures. So you're welcome to check that out as well.
Okay. They didn't respond to, like, where's the chain of custody?
What is it? Which one is it? Is it?
Yeah, it's the most recent one.
Okay. I'm over here at my grandma and grandpa's house celebrating Father's Day with my dad, from Pot Brothers at Law. And also, I wanted to address the article that came out on Friday from the LA Times. But when I went to address it, conveniently, my account was taken down. I'm pretty sure we're being attacked, probably by the same people who are putting out the articles. Who knows? But if they expect me...
That's convenient. No. Shout out to Jake Cures, by the way. Shout out to West Coast Cures.
To believe their reports when we've asked simple questions that they didn't respond to, like, where's the chain of custody? Like, and they can't give us one, which we have for all of our products. And I want you guys to know, at West Coast Cure, we stand behind all of our products and all of the people we work with. We would never do such a thing. Anyone that knows me know how much I care about the plant, how much I care about people, how generous I am. And yeah,
They wouldn't even show us the COAs. A murder defendant gets to see the evidence against them. Hatchet job, fake news.
Yeah, Dad. Happy Father's Day, everyone. Bottom line is, everyone, all of our products on shelves are clean and have passing results from state licensed labs. Plus, me and my team at West Coast Cure go over and beyond. We do R&D on top of compliance, which isn't even required of us. Now I heard Elliot from Catalyst is planning on doing his own testing, and I totally encourage it, because unlike LA Times and the three labs that are coming after us, right? He doesn't have any ulterior motives. His only motive is to make sure that patients and people are getting clean medicine. And I know that he's going to throw a fair trial, and he's going to have chain of custody and make sure our stuff hasn't been tampered with.
Okay, so this is where it gets interesting. We're going to talk about Elliot. We're going to talk about his whole program real soon here. But I just want to like I said, I'm nothing. I don't know if anybody's watching right now from West Coast Cure. I think you guys did a great response. Not this response, but I think you guys went into overdrive. I think I put out a little trailer for the documentary coming up, and I think that mixed with a couple other things, I think you guys kicked into overdrive and really did a good response. So I want to make sure that I don't want to like wait a little bit and like go to something else and then come back and show their response. So I want to go straight to that. But actually, we'll watch this for a little bit more. And like I said, this is gonna get spicy. It's gonna get complicated. It's gonna get very political. Not even this part, but later down the line. So yeah, stick around.
So I'm for it. And also, me and my team have decided to invite a few people, bud tenders, consumers, and we want you guys to come and check us out, because we want to be transparent and show you guys we're an open book, and you guys can experience our procedures, see how the labs pick products when they come. And yeah, man, bottom line is, everyone.
So that's what he did. That's what they did, right? I'll go back. I want to show this first, and then I'll go back to me. And then this is where I start to get into like talking to Alex about, I start to ask him harder questions, being like, what's your response to these allegations, all these things. So this is the one I just showed is this video right here. But they went into overdrive mode pretty quickly, and
Jake here, and we're live here at our facility in Long Beach, and I've invited some people that I got straight off of my comments from my post.
I go by SoCal Saltismus on Instagram.
I wanted to see what's going on here at the facility, because Jake here's put out the video and he said, he has nothing to hide.
And I hope to see the quality that comes from this lab.
Just here to find out like how everything works with the process, and I'm excited that he opened his doors to us.
We're about to go show them how we do testing with our state-approved lab, and we're going to show them how we do compliance and R&D. Let's go.
So what we're going to end up doing is we're going to pull from the batches that have been brought forward to us. From there on out, it's going to be a strictly lab-only process. So everything going on is heavily controlled by paperwork.
So this is called quarantine, guys, right? See how it's locked up in there?
It's supposed to be recorded. The state has access to this footage right here, and we want to give them the opportunity to verify that what I'm pulling here in real time is actually going to be a real.
What's up, everybody?
so smart move in my opinion, just savvy move.
We use random number generation to determine which samples we're going to be pulling and from which parts of the batch. That's a shot right there from regulations. You can see that it's indicated.
This is smart from a PR standpoint, I would say. Let's look at some of these comments. Not hating, but it's been known that all the lab testing you pay to play, you pay to make the numbers you want. That's facts. Yeah. Okay. So why did they pop dirty according to the LA Times? Right. You have to be okay. Okay.
How many different units you need to grab for a batch.
Shout out to the homie, by the way. Weed reviews.
What size?
That dude does some great reviews, and yeah.
And from there, everything's going to be dropped into its controlled envelope, a sterile kind of bag. It's going to get sealed, and it will stay in that condition until it ends up in the intake department of the laboratory.
Now we just have to wait for the results, and we'll go from there.
We use random number generation.
Okay, well, here we go. Here they are. Okay, let's go over here to the. Okay, let's go to these comments. Okay, so why did they pop dirty according to the LA Times? Not sure. They haven't shown me 1 ounce of proof. No pun intended. Possibly a fake. I will say one thing that actually definitely weakens 100% is that they. I mean, I would like to see the proof, right? I don't know if Jake here is just saying that to say like, as a PR move, but I mean, like I need to hit up Alex and maybe see if there's actually like the proof of that, but. That's something that I definitely would like to see, honestly, because without that, actually, that's a huge component to it. I mean, we definitely want to see the proof. I'm sure, like I said, I'm going to get into the part about if I trust Alex or not right here in a sec, but I just want to go over this first, and then we'll get to that. So Robert Bean says, possibly a fake. West Coast Cure has proven day in, day out that they are the best. Jake here, stop being a clown. They passed because you had the lab exclude testing on the pesticide. Stop being such a and passing Cali standard, and you want to level up quality and surpass that standard. Go pesticide free. This whole song and dance is disgusting. It's the only reason I won't fuck with y'all anymore. The theatrics have been crazy. Okay. Seriously, this just okay. Be advised, manufacturers, distributors do not get choosing what is tested for at the DCC state mandated labs. They must use for licensed products. And then Profit 626 says, yes, they have. You're the one who hasn't provided an actual result. Those are paid actors, bro. Knock it off. They're not paid actors. No, they're not paid actors. Right. You have to be a fucking to not see that shit, smoke and mirrors and money. Crazy. I was just reading an article about how they wanted to test the virus. Okay. Somebody says this legit proves nothing. LMAO. I'm showing 100% more proof than the LA Times. They didn't even post each test with batch numbers and proof of chain of custody like I have to prove what they are testing and where it comes from. I asked, they won't show any. He goes, I get it, my boy, but we all know the people test a few samples and attach that COA to all products sold under that name. See, that's kind of what I was talking about, right? I'm not a hater, G. I know you're an OG in the industry. The entire industry is just a shit show right now. Let's be honest about that. I feel for y'all, to be completely honest, but glad I got it. Okay. Somebody says LA Times probably bought fake West Coast Cure carts and then tested them. Somebody says, for real, it's probably a true fact. LA Times is smoking fake West Coast Cure carts. West Coast Cure is one of the longest running players in the legal game. Anyone thinking y'all aren't doing things the right way is digging for negativity. Truth reigns. Okay. So definitely interesting. Let's see if they did anything else. I think.
Dash and Dash. Los Angeles. It was supposed to be.
Okay, I want to get claimed here, but smart move, smart PR moves, I would say, honestly. I mean, if you guys want the real, I'll tell you here in a sec what I think. But okay, we just got 220 people now in the total viewing party. How many we got on? Got 150 people on X, dude. Let's go. No one on Facebook. No one. Okay, so we got. Okay. Now.
Are clean and have passing results from state licensed labs. Plus,
I mean, this really, but I don't think that independent media, but I don't. Good time to ask. I personally, and I think especially you're independent media, right? I mean, you teamed up with a bigger outlet that's going to be able to amplify your voice, which I completely understand. Because there is more, this hit. I mean, this really. I mean, people have been talking about this, but it is really. This was the thing that really made it hit, and it's now. We're talking about it now here, right? We're doing the interview. I would say though too, like, what is your response to like people saying, this is a paid hatchet job, or this was influenced by those 3 labs, let's say, for example. I guess what's the response to that, if you have any?
Well, I think I guess what I would say at the beginning is this. We live in a time of great distrust, distrust of existing institutions, and one of the institutions that has lost the greatest amount of trust in American life is the media, and that's for a wide variety of reasons. One is that it's an easy scapegoat for just about anybody to blame the media when you don't like the media's message. Another reason is that the media, and especially what I would call the high quality journalism media, has been in a business crisis for the last 30 years since the rise of the internet, and this has led to a decline in quality at many institutions. Certainly, their journalism, which is never an easy profession, there are huge numbers of journalist layoffs, and about 20 to 25% of Americans live in places where there's effectively no local news, and local news is really sort of the foundation of the media, I think.
You mean local newspapers where there's, like, you know, journalists that are almost like muckrakers, right? There's not really that.
Well, I mean, you know, now the muckrakers tend to work for a very small number of publications that that tend to be a lot larger and tend to have been able to weather the storm a little better. Although, you know, it's no secret that the LA Times has had its recent struggles. It is a lot of outlets have been bought by billionaires, and billionaires buy news outlets for various reasons. Business operations is pretty unfamiliar to a lot of. They're losing money. The most successful general interest newspaper, familiar to a lot of billionaires, and billionaire-owned publications have suffered. That includes.
And this gets into the distrust of the media, which I'm excited to talk about here briefly. Let's go to that.
Includes the Washington Post, which is owned by one of the world's richest men. They're losing money. The most successful general interest newspaper in the world, in the country.
See, folks, when this article first came out, I just want to speak here. When this article first came out, I honestly was instant reaction. I'm like, I don't fuck with it. Like, I just don't fuck with it in general, because just hear me out, guys. That was my instant reaction, because anything I see pretty much from mainstream media, and I consider LA Times mainstream media, I'm so distrustful, because, folks, this is what it is. The biggest liars in our world is the government, number one. Number two is corporate media, right? Mainstream media that helps peddle the propaganda of the government, the lies of the government. Number three is, corporations, whatever. And then a distant fourth is independent news people like myself, who honestly, in my opinion, get it right more times than not compared to these. Because the thing about it, I mean, these are corporate controlled entities. Billionaires own these institutions of journalism, right? And so I personally, I despise. I mean, whatever you want to say, I'm not a big fan of the left or the right, really, either one. But one thing I will say is that 2016, when Trump ran, it did open my eyes. And I'm not a Trump supporter by any means, and I'm not, I'm really, I grew up far left, but I've despised both parties now. I despise because it's all a uniparty. I don't want to go down that whole rabbit hole, but I mean, I didn't really realize until YouTube really, but until independent media came in. But I mean, CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, I mean, it's all horseshit. It's all, I mean, it's just lies. It's propaganda. It's how do we get into the next war? How do we get into, force people to do something that they don't want to do? How do we coerce the public into, this or that? It's pure and simple. I mean, I now that I've spent about 4 or 5 years doing media, right, and I'm self-taught, never really thought I'd be doing this. I've started to learn though. I mean, it's all about narrative control. It's all about, I mean, it's a nasty business, bro, is the mainstream media. I mean, they're really hacks, bro. They really are hacks. Now, like I said, this is not to take away from some of the good parts though of it. So anyway, let's keep going with this.
Certainly is the New York Times, and they had the resources and the foresight to reinvent themselves in a lot of ways that other outlets haven't been able to do. And so what has filled the gap is, and there are a lot of sort of new upstart newsrooms that are trying to tell the stories of their communities and do an honest job. And there are a lot of there's a lot of nonsense out there that tells lies and distortions, and often they attack credible news outlets. So, and you know, in the weed world, there's a lot of, and certainly in your audience, there's a lot of basis for distrust, not just of the media, but of government, because these institutions have been telling a lot of lies about the plant for some of them anyway. And
well, they've been stewards of government as well, right? This is the big. I mean, the problem has been is like the New York Times. I mean, they've helped. What? Let's be real. They've helped. They've always been for every single war that's been pitched by the government. Let's be real. I mean, that's a fact, right? I mean, CNN. I mean, they're clowns, right? Fox News, clowns. Both sides are clowns. Like both, but they're both. You know, it's all the illusion of choice, right? And I really think it's funny, you know, I like, as much as, you know, you can think whatever you want to think about Trump, right? The fact is, we just watched that video with Jarrett, right? And his dad, or his dad, or his uncle, I think that's the uncle or his dad, who's a lawyer himself, right? He used the term fake news, right? Which is obviously a product of Donald Trump. So I think it comes from, you know, I mean, that's a big reason why I think Donald Trump got elected. I mean, there's obviously been, I mean, yeah, like you said, a ton of distrust in media, because a lot of media has been to control the masses, right? I mean, let's be real. That's what, you know, and that's why I think the more decentralized system, you know, of independent journalism, you know, people like, you know, journalists that are almost their own entity, right? Like yourself, almost, right? Like you're your own entity with, you know, with your own.
And so just to kind of take back up what I was just saying earlier, you know, when I first saw this article, my instant reaction was like, okay, this is mainstream media. Fuck them. This is, I don't know. I'm not with it. And then, you know, I saw Alex, that was part of it. And Alex, you know, he is genuinely, like, in my opinion, you know, there's people out there that don't like him, and you know, there's reason for that, but you know, he's a good reporter. He's like one of the very few, right? I mean, he really is.